He helped lead Oregon to 3 BCS bowl games. He paved the way for LaMichael James, and he also helped Oregon win their first Rose Bowl last year in Pasadena. And now offensive tackle Darrion Weems is here in Dallas, tasked with protecting quarterback Tony Romo. In part 1 of our 2-part series with Weems, we sat down here at Valley Ranch to talk about a number of issues, including his time with the Oregon Ducks.
I remember I had a conversation with Coach Graywood like my junior year of high school, and he told me pretty much if I went, he was going to make it extremely hard, and I was going to hate him probably for most of the time I was there, but it was going to make me a good football player. And I just admired him and his honesty, I guess, because it was hard, and I hated him for my first little time that I was there. But we grew in and had a great relationship after that, and I think that's what really brought me there. It was more the people and the guys I was going in with, and the guys that were already there. When I took my visit, took me in with open arms. So it was about the people. It wasn't really about everything else. So.
If I remember this right, you came in when Coach Bellotti was still the head coach and Coach Kelly was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, I think that was Coach. It might have been his first year there. It was my freshman year. I remember that. Yeah.
A lot of people are going to ask. You'd be the first person to ask. What's the difference? What was the difference between Bellotti and Coach Kelly?
I think it was just the mentality behind like the way that things were done, like the way we practice. Like practice means more than the game. Like every day I practice matters more than anything. Like yeah, it's serious, literally. And we had the mantra there when Bellotti was there, but I think Chip kind of like really took it in his hands and like made it like this thing where every day, like if you weren't giving everything you had at practice, you felt bad. Like, geez, I didn't win a day today. So I think that's the biggest difference.
Is that Coach Kelly's strength?
You mean just his?
Just pushing you guys to win the day and not necessarily look at the long term.
I mean, I think that's how it's a good way to approach life too. Because you can only control now. Essentially, yesterday was yesterday. Tomorrow might not come. So, if you focus on now and you do now as hard as you can, then everything else will be easy.
Looking back, you have to be proud of what you guys have built. Years before, Oregon went through some lean times winning football, but you were one of those members who helped build what it is today.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I remember, the year before I signed there, they got whooped in the Vegas Bowl, and everyone's asking me, like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I got a feeling about it, like I gotta go. So, and that's really what it was. It was a feeling, and I went and we made special things happen. So.
Your first start was against USC, if I read right. That must have been looking back, one of those tough games.
That was a nerve-wracking day. I just remember like sitting in the hotel the whole time and being freaked out, and then kind of the game came, and then I don't know, I just got really calm, and then that's kind of how I ended up playing the rest of my games. It was kind of just like I'd be really nervous the whole day, but then like once the game actually came, it was kind of got really calm. So.
We don't get a chance to really sit down and socialize with Coach Kelly and pick his brain about football. But what is it about? Take us inside the mind of Coach Kelly and what makes him so special as a coach.
I don't know if you want to go there, man. Just as he knows how to get it out of his players. He knows kind of exactly like how he wants things done and how to get you to do them. He wanted guys to work really hard at practice, so he started playing music at practice, and then it's kind of this thing that's in the background and you don't really hear it, but and then it's not this just monotonous day where like you just hear whistles blowing, and so I just think he has a way of getting things out of his players that other coaches can't necessarily get. I don't think anyone really knows. I mean, he's a great guy, and when you talk to him, he's got a lot of depth, and so from that perspective, you'd have to sit down with him and really delve into it. So.
What about the possibility of him leaving? I mean, there's so much speculation that he would come up to this level to play or coach in the NFL. What are your thoughts about that? Would he be a good NFL coach? Would his system work on this level?
I don't know. I feel like I think he could be an effective coach at this level, for all the things I mentioned before. As far as, his scheme and things, I can't really, I don't really want to go there and talk about that, but I think him personally, he could be an effective coach at this level. So.
There was a story actually that came out yesterday after you and I talked about Coach Kelly, about how some of the Oregon boosters are really unhappy with him because he hasn't spent that personal one-on-one time with those boosters. And Coach Kelly, he concentrates more on getting his players and his team ready. Is that a fair assessment by boosters?
I think being a football coach, especially at that level, it requires a lot of things of you. And first and foremost is winning football games and developing young boys into men. And I think as long as he's doing that, which he's doing very well, I mean, I don't think anyone can really say, what they are going to require of him, because he's not rubbing elbows with people that, he probably doesn't really want to hang out with anyway. So I think he's a phenomenal coach, phenomenal guy, and, anyone who kind of doesn't get that is, I don't understand it.
Do you miss those days? How much do you keep in touch with the guys back home?
I talk to, my offensive linemen there, probably weekly, just little texts here and there, like don't suck or, just random stuff just to kind of, keep in the mix, because those are guys that I kind of, especially the younger guys, that you kind of took under your wing, Jake Fisher, I talk to him a lot. So, it's just, I talk to him a lot. And then you miss it, you miss that idle meeting time where you're just hanging out and cracking jokes. So,
What about Kyle Long? Did you ever get a chance to meet him?
I met Kyle a bunch of times, and I actually text him, a little bit too, because I was getting together with him, trying to teach him, all this stuff before I left. So, he's an awesome kid. I kind of wish I would have had a year to kind of hang out with him in there too, because he was a good kid too. So.
Came out a couple days ago. He didn't get the additional year that he was hoping to get. So he's got the one and done, and now he hopes to make it to the next level. Do you think he has the skills to play at this level?
More than this, his skills are phenomenal. If you watch him play, he's got the strength and everything. I think the only reason he wasn't really starting there in the beginning is because he didn't have the mental right. But when you watch him play the game, though, he's a phenomenal player. So.
Let's talk about Coach Greatwood. Did his preparations in your years, though, there get you ready to play at this level?
Oh, definitely. I think because when I got to. Whenever I get to a team, they say how, oh, you're well coached, or you do such and such things really well, and I think that all of that is him essentially, because he set the groundwork, because every team's kind of a little different in the way they're going to do things, but he set the kind of the groundwork for how I play and understand the game, so. He was monumental in my development, and he never let me, slack ever, and I thank him and love him for that. So.
Now in part 2 of our sit down with Weems, we'll talk about his life in the NFL, adapting to a new offensive scheme, and also playing for America's team, the Dallas Cowboys. In Irving, Texas, at the Cowboys Valley Ranch facility, I'm Warren Williamson, Oregon Duck, Football News.